Alderperson Skidmore, did you want to ask the chief a question now or late? Pardon me?
Would you like to weigh in now? I'd like to know if it's permissible according to the rule. Is it?
So Alderperson Skidmore, do you have a question of Chief Koval?
Chief, over the last several months, we've had a number of discussions about the insults and distrust that has been directed toward the department. I'm really curious as to how you feel your officers are reacting and how you feel about these responses without having an adequate opportunity to respond in a formal manner.
Chief Koval?
I feel like the City of Madison Police Department at many levels has been hijacked and co-opted by a narrative that we are not subscribing to. If you read that blog, that four-cornered document, I don't know anywhere in there where it has ever been said that we are not in support of this study. Yet that's how this has now been dichotomized and marginalized. There's a difference between having a study and when is the best time to have the study based upon fiscal realities. If you can't pay your rent, you don't shop for an Escalade in the same breath. We've never said we would oppose a study, not one time ever. But I have two themes when I go to work. What's important now? And the now part is I'm told that the fiscal reserves are down to the nubs, that we don't know how many snowfalls that will tolerate, and yet this is the time that we have to embark upon a study that was supposed to have been concluded by July. So if in fact this is such a compelling reason, that was the reason for the blog, because I'm literally being told by department, as other department heads are, is that Midtown's in jeopardy. You said you wanted more cops? Forget that. You might have to scale back your operation. Well, in the basis of that, I am not going to listen to me getting tagged for another $400,000 like it's something. You know, Alderman King, in his first deliberation with the Fitzsimmons, as with Alder Clare, and by the way, when we're talking about fundamental fairness, I do want to say this is the first time in 2 years where I appreciate that the decorum was applied evenly across the board, and I commend you for it, Alderman Revere. This was the first time I saw decorum that cut both ways, and I appreciate the effort that was made, and I appreciate Alder Cheeks for setting the tone in talking about what's good for one should be good for all, and I appreciate that. It didn't go unnoticed. Thank you. And I do think it established a level of decorum that has been lacking in these kind of volatile situations in the past. Now, everybody, when the Fitzsimmons came, just by the way, if you're Joe and Jill Sixpack and you're going to face a cross-examination for a comment you have or make, I can tell you that in all the times I've heard of controversial conversations, I've never seen someone who expressed an anti-police 3 minutes. That person has never been challenged while I've sat in these chambers. I'd like to see when. Well, then I must have been asleep. I must not have been there, because I rarely, if ever, have seen it. And so I'm glad to see if this is the new transparency that everybody's going to have. I'm glad we're all on the same page. Now, with respect to the committee, no one's ever challenged the good works of citizens who are being commissioned to do a difficult job. I think the co-chairs have been phenomenal. No one's criticized that work. What I would like, as a member of the city staff, I would like to know then, so that the rest of the consumers of the city of Madison know, what does this do to the financial reserves from the chief financial officer? If you carve out $400,000 out of the reserves, how much does that make this city limp through till January 1st?
I'm sorry.
Do you know that?
Do you wish to have a member of the council ask?
Can you ask then,
that question.
Alder?
Well, that'll come in regular order, Chief Koval. Okay. We'll ask Finance Director Schmidtke that. I'm sorry, Alderperson Skidmore, did you want to reclaim your time, Alderperson Skidmore, and ask
yes.
a question of Finance Director Schmidtke?
Yes, what will taking $400,000 do to our reserves at this point?
$50,000 of the $400,000 has already been appropriated. What's before you in this resolution is to appropriate an additional $350,000 from the contingent reserve. In the budget, there's $1.2 million that's set aside in the contingent reserve. With this resolution, assuming it's adopted, $685,000 of that $1.2 million would have been appropriated, leaving about a little over $500,000 left in the reserve.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Alderperson Skidmore,
No more questions.
did you have other questions of Chief Koval?
No, I don't.
So with the council's indulgence and without objection, then do we want to continue to questions of Chief Koval or go back to the regular queue in order that I have here? I'm sorry, Alderperson King, did you say you had